What's bonking, guys? Today I'm here with more Persona 3 Reload, or Some Great Reload as I'm calling it. I believe this is the fifth video, like the fifth episode, if you will, but I don't quite remember. And here is me going into Tartarus for the first time. So I would appreciate your guys' feedback. I know these videos don't do very well, but who knows, this one could blow up. Or even if not, even if you're one of the 2 people who watches this, if you could let me know what you think of Tartarus, going forward. I get it, Tartarus is pretty boring. I don't enjoy it that much. Would you rather me cut out more of Tartarus moving forward? Should I just show key battles? Let me know what you guys want. Of course, you don't have to answer now, because, you should see what Tartarus is like. But as I believe I mentioned, Mementos, which was in Persona 5, I found to be pretty boring. I didn't hate it, but, the first time I really didn't enjoy it. Second time I was cool with it. And I prefer it over Tartarus. I think Tartarus is even more boring. So, just let me know what you guys think. It is pretty redundant. You guys will see some of it in this video and then in the next. But, anyway, now I will just chime in when I have something to say. You should see some combat here soon.
Right. Let's begin. Defeat all the shadows on that floor. I'll support you as much as I can, but it's up to you to learn something out there.
All right, so here I'm just checking everyone's gear, weapons, all that, because I don't think it had displayed that prior to this, so I was just curious about, what everyone had. And I was kind of just standing around, checking things out, because, like I said, this is my first time ever in Tartarus. It looks different from Mementos. It's the same general idea, but the layout is very different. So I was just kind of checking it out, and, just kind of getting a feel for it.
There's a shadow up ahead. This is the first real battle for Takeba and Iori. Proceed with caution. All right, let's start by going over how to attack shadows. When faced with an enemy, you have 2 primary options for fending them off. The first option is to use your equipped weapon. The second option is to use your persona. But remember, every persona has its own strengths and weaknesses. Knowing how personas work will be crucial. Try summoning yours right now.
Okay, so that's one thing actually that I find kind of interesting, is the combat here is a little different from Persona 5. This is, I wouldn't call it a spoiler, but if you haven't played Persona 5, this is, I'm going to be explaining the combat, so if for whatever reason you don't want to hear that, I don't know, maybe skip ahead a minute or 2. It won't be too long, but in Persona 5, at least Royal, I didn't play the vanilla, so I can't really speak on that, but every character has their personas, and then they have a physical weapon and a ranged weapon. So here, everyone has one weapon, The MC has a short sword, or just a normal sword. Junpei has, claymores, or, larger, great swords. And what's her name? Yukari has bows. But in Persona 5, for example, Joker, he has a knife, and then he uses, so his physical weapon is knives, daggers, that kind of thing, and then his ranged weapon is just simple handguns, pistols, whatnot. Whereas Ryuji, for example, his physical weapon is a bat, so he'll get bats or maces. I think he probably gets hammers too, things in that realm. And then his physical weapon, he gets shotgun, his melee weapon, he gets shotguns. So I thought that was really interesting. And in every battle, your ammo recharges, so you could just like dump your clip in, in a shadow if you want, and or you couldn't, and like you can save them. I've heard that in Persona 5, like the vanilla, you can only use, like, you had to save your bullets throughout the whole what's the word, infiltration. Like, if you, like, from what I've heard, if you say use your gun in one battle, you can't use it in the next until you leave the metaverse and then enter again. I can't fact check that. That's just what I've heard. But in 5 Royal, it's like you can use your gun in every single battle if you want. Like your ammo refills in every battle. So yeah, and as with this game, they all have different like different weapons. So the other thing I thought was really interesting is the elements. So in Persona 5, you have fire, ice, wind, electricity, nuclear, psychokinesis, and curse and bless. And then you also have physical attack and ranged, like what like ranged, I think, is the best way I can describe it. Like, for example, like Morgana, he has a slingshot. He's the only one who doesn't have like a firearm. There's one character that has like a grenade launcher, but Morgana's the only one who has like a bow or slingshot. Well, I don't think he can ever use bows, but I know slingshots are usually what he has. Anyway, so the elements are different here. Like, instead of, say, like the physical and the like projectile, you just have, I think it's bash, slash, and pierce, I think. I could be wrong. I don't quite remember. But, like, for example, Yukari, I'm pretty sure hers is pierce because she's using a bow. And then I think Junpei's is bash because he's like using a heavy weapon. And then I'm pretty sure the MC has slash because he's using a sword. I don't quite remember. And like the names could be wrong. That's just like what I remember. And then the elements are a little different. Like fire, ice, wind, and electricity are still there. I don't think nuclear and psychokinesis are. I want to say, or maybe they are. I don't remember. I haven't been able to use them yet. So I'll probably put it on screen. And then instead of curse and bless, I'm pretty sure it's just called light and dark. So it's a little different, but it's the same general idea. I just thought it was kind of interesting. But yeah, that ended up being longer than a minute. So hopefully none of you guys wanted to skip the explanation. Or maybe you did because I yapped too much. Regardless, hopefully that wasn't... if you did skip ahead about a minute or so, like I said before, hopefully you didn't hear more than you wanted to. But yeah, that's all I'll say for now. So again, as usual, I'll chime in again when I have something to say.
All throughout Tartarus. Sometimes they contain useful items for battle. Seek them out as often as you can.
Oh, sweet! So they're basically like treasure chests. Hell yeah! Let's bust it open and see what's inside.
That looks like it'll be useful. It's up to you to decide how to use it. Shadow detected. Looks like they haven't noticed you yet. Now's your chance. Try sneaking up on them from behind. Make sure you stay out of their field of vision. enemy's weakness. I'll keep track of tactical data, such as any enemy weaknesses you've identified. If you ever forget an enemy's affinities, just let me know and I'll get that data for you.
Okay, so here you can see right there, like down at the bottom in that like yellow box, it shows the like different elemental attacks. So as I figured, it looks like psychokinesis and nuclear are in fact not in this game. So I'll put up like a picture of what the Persona 5 like affinities look like to show you guys like the comparison, like what's different. Because I just thought about this when I was explaining it, you know, earlier, it probably didn't make sense to any of you. Realistically, if you played the games, you already know what I'm talking about, and if you haven't, it probably didn't make any sense to you. That's usually how things work, you know, like if you haven't played a game yet, it's kind of confusing. Also, I don't know why I was stuck on this for so long. Maybe I was really trying to take in all the information. I don't know. Maybe I don't really know. Oh, also, I can see now it says slash strike and pierce. So I was right, except it's strike instead of bash. But yeah, I just realized that like you guys probably wouldn't understand it anyway. So yeah, I just end up yapping a lot. But yeah, so I'll put that up there, and then I'll probably end up just skipping some of this. Okay, never mind. I end up going ahead anyway. So yeah, sorry, I don't know why that was there for so long. Maybe I just left the controller while I went to go do something else. I don't know. But yeah, now, oh yeah, and then this is also the same, how, you know, there's like weaknesses, and there's resists, and yeah, drains and repels and all that. So yeah, that's really it for now. Same as before, just I'll chime in when I have something to say.
Alright, now knock down the other one. That's when you perform an all-out attack.
An all-out attack?
It's a maneuver that engages the entire team in a coordinated assault when all enemies have been knocked down. Naturally, the enemy has no way of defending against this. It's one of the most reliable means of attack.
Whoa! That sounds so badass! Let's give it a try right now!
This is our chance. Let's...
Okay, so not to rip on Persona 3, I get it. It's Persona 3, you know, it came out well before Persona 5 did. So, like, I don't mean to rip on it. Like, I do enjoy Persona 3, but a few other, like, differences about it that I noticed and that I don't like as much. One thing is the all-out attack. It looks fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, it shows, like, like it shows the group, and then they rush forward, and there's, like, the cloud, you know. I mean, you guys just saw it. Like, I don't need to describe it. It looked cool, but I much preferred the Persona 5 one. It looked so much cooler how you get, like, like they all jump in, and you get the, like, shattered glass, like, for the screen, and you can see, like, their faces in each of them, and then they just like beat ass, and then one of the characters always comes out and hits like a cool pose or something, or not cool, but like, I don't know, I like them. Oh, and then they always say something too, like Makoto, she's like, fists of justice, like, I loved hers. Hers was cool. Or like Ryuji, he like falls on his face, like his really funny. Futaba, I like hers. Hers is, I think, my favorite. Or no, actually it's hard to say. I like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm kind of spoiling Persona 5 like squad members, so I won't go into that too much, but they all have really cool cinematics, and I'm pretty sure there's cinematics, actually, yeah, no, there are cinematics in Persona 3 as well, but they don't look quite as cool. Like, they had some really cool shit. Like, one of them, again, I'm not gonna say who, he had like a dragon. One of them was like, I think he was saying like he is justice, or like he decides justice or something. Like, they look cool, and obviously there are some I prefer more than others. But yeah, like, I think Persona 5 is cooler in that regard, but I mean, again, it's a newer game, so of course they tried different things in it. And the other thing is the shuffle time. I honestly like the concept of shuffle time. At first, I thought it was a completely novel concept and it was way different. But then it occurred to me, it's actually really the same thing as like negotiations in Persona 5. Basically, okay, the one thing actually, I think I maybe mentioned this, I'm not big on the Persona aspect. Otherwise, I think shuffle time is cool, how you just get shuffle time, and you get to pick, like, you get this, that, or, whatever. I like that. I think that's cool. Again, as I said, it's just like discussion. It's just like negotiations where you knock down all the shadows, and then you can ask one of them something. You can say, give me money, give me, an item. I think it's give me money, give me an item, or join me. And so that's what I prefer about it, is that you can actually pick the persona you get. You get to see that very persona. You know what they're weak to, you know what they look like, you know what kind of skills they can do, and you get to pick if you want them or not. Now, of course, you have to be a high enough level, and then you have to actually convince them to join you. But assuming you do that, you get the very persona right in front of you. So I prefer that as opposed to this game where you're fighting just shadows, which, like, there's nothing wrong with that. But then it'll just randomly give you a persona. So, like, it'll be like, hey, do you want Chimera, for example? Even though you haven't fought Chimera, you don't know what it looks like. You don't know what it does. I mean, I guess you do kind of know what it looks like because it shows it on the card. Or if you played previous games, like, for example, like, it said, like, do you want Angel? And I'm like, yes. Like, I know what Angel does. But even that, like, because there's different, like elements and shit, they are kind of different anyway, so you don't fully know what you're getting yourself into. So I do prefer that in Persona 5, but again, this is an older game, so they polished that, and they ended up coming up with a new method, and I think that's cool. But shuffle time in and of itself, I do think is cool. You're guaranteed to get shuffle time every time you get an all-out attack, which is like negotiations. You can only negotiate once you've knocked everyone down. I'm trying to think. I don't quite remember. It's been a little bit since I've played Persona 5, but I want to say it's when you knock them all down, you have the choice to either all-out attack. Yeah, that's it. You either all-out attack, or you interrogate and, like, negotiate. Here, you do an all-out attack, and then after it gives you shuffle time. So, I think they're both novel. I don't have an issue with either. This one, it forces you to finish the battle, whereas in the other one, you could say, I don't want to finish this, I just want to get this persona. And I think that's cool, but I also think there's nothing wrong with making you finish it. So my only real gripe is just the fact that you're, like, you can't guarantee that you get a persona, and the one you do get isn't necessarily the one you want. So I do prefer that about Persona 5, but otherwise, I think shuffle time and, like, the negotiations, I think they're comparable. They both work in somewhat different ways. Here's the other thing, too, is shuffle time you can also get even without doing an all-out attack. I believe it said it's guaranteed during all-out attacks, but you can get it when you don't do an all-out attack. So that's cool, too, Whereas in Persona 5, if you just can't hit their weak points, you just can't knock them down, and you just can't get negotiations. But also with negotiations, you can just milk them dry. You can say, give me money, like, 6 times. And if you're lucky, you can, like, milk them dry, and you'll just get a shit ton of money. But if you're unlucky, then eventually they'll stop and then they'll go back to battle. So anyway, yeah, that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys all enjoyed. I am going to cut it off here, but expect another part soon, picking up where I left off. But yeah, overall, I am enjoying this game. I really hope that what I said doesn't sound too negative. I'm not trying to say this game is bad. I do love it. Just there are some things I prefer about Persona 5. But that's all, and until next time.